Welcome back to another episode of Talking Psychedelic Drugs with your favorite Green Beret. Today we're going to talk about psilocybin. Again, here's my plug. No pun intended. Here's my plug for my book, From Green Beret to Shamanism, One Man's Journey to Hill. Matthew Butler. It's my memoir about my journey into plant medicine, shamanism, mental health, healing, and all the above. All right. Again, I am not an expert. This is presented for entertainment purposes only and education. Today we're going to talk about psilocybin. All right. One thing I didn't point out yesterday talking about ayahuasca is that it's generally considered the grandmother. And that can sometimes be an endearing sort of thought. Like, we all hopefully have good memories of spending time with our grandmother. But it also can be kind of like in a sense of discipline. And what I mean by that is, like, my grandmother kept a wooden spoon on her fridge, and she didn't have any reservations about dispelling a tune-up if you need it, if you get my drift, right? And that to me is very much the ayahuasca energy when they say she's the grandmother, right? She'll give you a cookie and a warm glass of milk if you need it, but she'll put you over her knee and paddle your ass if you need it. And in that light, psilocybin is el niños, the children, because they are more playful. They are certainly more playful than the grandmother, okay? There are roughly 200 strains or species of psilocybin. And again, I am by no means the expert. There's a man out there by the name of Paul Stamets who is the expert. They're constantly discovering new strains. There's a strain that has come to light recently that's found in Papua New Guinea and in the East. Apparently can be purchased in food markets in China, that every single time any user takes it, they see like little tiny, like 3 centimeter people. Like, everybody sees it, no matter where they take it. All right. How does it work? Psilocybin, the fungi, the hallucinogenic versions of fungi, when it breaks down, it releases the active ingredient psilocin. It also works on the serotonin receptors, like ayahuasca. It's also very spiritual in nature. It's not about the life replay movie, although you can have those moments. And it too also quiets the default mode network. Okay, differences: it's a plant, it's not a plant, it's fungi. It's much easier to obtain, and and it's found all over the earth. Also, there's no cooking or preparation required. In fact, a lot of people that I talk to, if I ask them if they've ever done psilocybin before, they'll say, yeah, like, I had my first experiences in college. In fact, a lot of people in the South will say, yeah, we used to go out in the cow pastures after a rain and pick them and eat them. That's how, like, a lot of the most common strains of psilocybin exist, is growing out of cow patties in cow pastures. Okay, strengths. It's a great introductory psychedelic. Like ayahuasca is really hard to dose, other than the traditional ceremonial or hero's dose. Whereas psilocybin can be taken as a microdose. It can be taken as a very low dose, slightly above a microdose, where it's kind of what you call the, I guess I would call it like the concert or light show dose, hiking dose. And then we get into more ceremonial and hero doses. It is the primary psychedelic for microdosing. There's a lot of people that microdose a lot of things. There's people that microdose ayahuasca, which honestly they're microdosing the MAOI and some of the harmalas and alkaloids in that. People will also microdose LSD. But in my opinion, the best of the microdoses is psilocybin. Weaknesses. I think that because it is easily obtained, because it is so common, because it can be done in certain doses, people lower their guard. Like I'll hear people saying that they microdose, and I ask, well, how much? And they'll say, well, I don't know. I just take this much. And if you get lazy around that, like it can have larger doses. Take for instance, the 2023 Alaska airline pilot who took a dose. I think he was in a jump seat. Just he wasn't in the in the cockpit, but he was catching a flight with his corporate uh, airlines that he worked for, and had a complete meltdown, tried to open the door, things like that. All of these require safety. All of these should require trip sitters. All of these require caution. And so, because of its availability and commonality and ability to do various doses and things like that, I think people lower their guard, and that's one of its weaknesses, which then leads us to the problem, which is essentially the same thing. It's I think it's a lot of it seen as sort of the frat boy party drug. A lot of people using it in high school, college, things like that, not taking it seriously. So again, do your research, follow along while we share some more insights, cover a few more things, and again, every purchase is a charitable donation to our nonprofit that gets veterans into ceremony. See you tomorrow. Thanks.